Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a super common and frustrating scenario. You get a check engine light. You pull a code pointing to the mass airflow sensor. You replace it, and nothing changes. The light comes back on. The car still runs rough, and you're out $100 or more. So, what gives? Why didn't replacing the MAF sensor fix the problem? Let's get into it. First, let's quickly recap what the MAF sensor does. It's a critical component that measures the amount, or mass, of air entering your engine. The engine control unit, or ECU, uses this information to calculate the perfect amount of fuel to inject for optimal combustion. When this reading is off, your engine's performance suffers, fuel economy drops, and you'll likely get a check engine light with codes like P0101, P0102, or P0103. Now, the number one reason a new MAF sensor doesn't solve the issue is that the sensor itself was never the problem. The diagnostic trouble code, or DTC, is pointing to a fault in the circuit, not necessarily a faulty component. Think of it as a clue, not a final answer. The most common culprit hiding in plain sight is a vacuum leak. A vacuum leak is any unmetered air getting into the engine after the MAF sensor. The MAF sensor is telling the ECU, hey, this much air is coming in, but secretly, more air is sneaking in through a cracked hose, a bad gasket on the intake manifold, or a faulty PCV valve. The oxygen sensors down the line detect all this extra air, see a lean condition, and get confused. The ECU tries to compensate by adding more fuel, but it can't reconcile the conflicting data from the MAF and O2 sensors, so it throws a MAF-related code. You could have the best, most expensive MAF sensor in the world, but if there's a vacuum leak, the problem will persist. So, before you even think about buying a new sensor, you need to check for leaks. The old-school way is to use a spray bottle with soapy water or a can of carb cleaner around the intake manifold, vacuum lines, and throttle body while the engine is running. If the engine's idle changes when you spray a certain spot, you've found your leak. A more professional and effective method is to use a smoke machine, which fills the intake system with smoke and makes any leak immediately visible. Another huge reason for failure is the wiring. The MAF sensor is connected to the ECU through a wiring harness. These wires can get frayed, corroded, or even chewed through by rodents. You could have a perfect sensor and a sealed intake system, but if the signal can't get to the ECU cleanly, it's all for nothing. Check the connector at the MAF sensor for bent or corroded pins. Give the wires a gentle tug to see if they're loose or broken inside the insulation. Use a multimeter to check for continuity and proper voltage on the power, ground, and signal wires, according to your vehicle's service manual. A bad ground is a particularly sneaky issue that can cause all sorts of phantom problems. Let's not forget about the quality of the replacement part itself. The market is flooded with cheap, low-quality aftermarket sensors. While the price tag might be tempting, these parts often don't meet the precise specifications of the original equipment manufacturer, or OEM. They might work for a little while, or they might be dead on arrival. Their readings can be inaccurate right out of the box, leading you right back to square one. When it comes to critical engine sensors, like the MAF, it is almost always worth spending the extra money on an OEM part or a high equivalent from a reputable brand. Finally, don't overlook a simple, dirty air filter. A clogged air filter can restrict airflow so much that it causes the MAF sensor to give an abnormally low reading, triggering a code. It's a simple maintenance item that gets forgotten all the time. Always check your air filter first. It's the cheapest and easiest thing to replace. So, to sum it up, if you replaced your MAF sensor and the problem is still there, stop and diagnose properly. Check for vacuum leaks using a smoke machine. Inspect the entire wiring harness and connector for damage. Make sure you used a high-quality replacement part. And for goodness sake, check that air filter. By following these steps, you can save yourself a lot of time, money, and frustration. Thanks for watching, guys. If this video helped you out, give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe for more no-nonsense car repair tips. See you in the next one.